Good evening, folks. Welcome in the ring. We're having some fun while we wait for the theme music to subside. But good to have each and every one of you on the line tonight. Jagdeo could lie. Oh, that's a premise you know what I'm talking about. Jagdeo could lie. He elevated it to an art form. Good night to the 600 of you who we started with. Paulette, Imelda, Sharon, Edward, Penelope, Gladys, Primalicia, Glycis. Good to have you on the line too. Melanie. David Ivor Hamilton. How are you doing, David? Myrtle Garway is here too. Good to have all of you. Where are you joining us from tonight? Let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. Let us know, good folks. Blackout whole day. Top to bottom, blackout. Fastest growing economy in the world. And we all know some of the other sentence adjectives. And they love them, Everett. They love them. Across this country, blackout. I went to a business place to get my phone fixed. Got a mango pelter. Trying to get up to a Galaxy S25. You know, better pictures and video when we do our live stream. Galaxy S25, that's the one they recommend. It's a good, doesn't overheat and so on in the sun, and so that's what we're looking for. I want to get a quotation, you know. So you don't go with the shopping money pockets. So a lady on the bridge of the shop, the store, the lady got your, what do you call it, solar panel on the ground, and she fan plugged up. She in the sun, but with a little breeze. It was hot. It was windless today. Thank you, PPP. Since you find since the PPP come with the sun a little more hot. And the power ship's not powering. The power ship's not powering. Folks, a very good evening to each and every one of you. Wherever you're joining us from, we're happy to have you all on the line tonight. The power ship just not powering. What do you want us to say? Let's fight. We got to fight, can't set. We hope that you guys are good and well. What a season it is. What a season it is. We hope that you all get medication, your pressure medicine, your cholesterol things. What a season. Just happy to have all of you with us tonight. Wherever you all are joining us from, this is season we're in, the 2025 general and regional elections. Some of you don't like it, but it is what it is. How you all doing? What a season it is. You know, Christopher, Leslin, Sheena Hazel. How are you folks doing? Dolly, Euclid, Leon. I saw a new party came into being today. What's the name of the party, my lord? You know, I'm happy for them. I was trying to wonder, is it for real or is this early April? But it seems legit. I saw my brother Travis Chase posted it. Sorry, my father. Travis Chase posted it. I said, come on now. The symbol is a leaf, popular leaf, you know, very popular. Folks, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Good to have all of you on the live tonight. Wherever you're joining us from, welcome. See, Marla Stobie is on the live. Port Kite too. Marla, here, a lot of things happening by you all, girl. Big drug business and so. Big drug bust. And so, Marna, and hearing people that did the crack today. I wonder what to find when they went in the crack. In Port Kite, there's a place called the Crack. Let's start with a PSA of sorts, a public service announcement. Why don't we start there? Because today in Fantali, he said the pensioners are going to get what's due to them. The pensioners are going to get what is due to the pensioners. And that to me is a good thing. Not that you got to put on any Mala and Infantali and Lyman Jagdeo. You don't know them no favors. They say, oh, the NIS is not spending their own money. Oh, the NIS is being given a one-off $10 billion. Well, the amount of money they take from NIS to do projects that their friends, their family, and their favorites getting the hog of it, the hog of the returns, this $10 billion should have been coming like a dividend to the good folks who are eligible for NIS. This should be coming like dividends. So don't let them feel, or you don't feel, brothers and sisters, as though they're doing you no favor, and you got to put on no mal upon them and put on no red t-shirt. The amount of money they take out of NIS to do all and sundry things, including the Barbies Bridge. That's why I said this 10 billion out of the gifting one-off to the NIS. This ought to be the dividend for all the money we take from NIS. The opener, folks, take it as a public service announcement. Please and thank you. The opener.
President Finale has announced a one-off payment to some NIS pensioners. This announcement was made before a group of pensioners today.
In my address to the National Assembly, I announced that we have earmarked a sum of $10 billion as a one-off payment in NIS to help address the challenges faced, particularly by those persons who have fallen marginally short of the 750 contributions required for eligibility for a pension from the NIS. In our outreaches and in talking to pensioners across the country, there are those who contributed to NIS and may have had 550, 575, 600, 650 contributions and beyond, but they were getting absolutely nothing because they fell short of the contribution that was required to give them a pension.
He said that this had been an issue faced by the pensioners and by the staff of NIS.
We committed that we want to help people. We want to find ways in which we can make it easier for our citizens, especially the elderly.
He said that Minister Ashley Singh further elaborated on the commitment.
The sum of $10 billion was provided to finance a one-off transfer to those persons who have at least 500 contributions, but less than 750 contributions required to receive the NIS pension.
He said that the government would be making the transfer of money to the NIS.
For persons with 500 to 549 NIS contribution, they will receive a one-off payment of $260,000. Persons with contribution between 550 to 559 550 to 599 NIS contributions, 550 to 599 NIS contributions, a one-off payment of $390,000.
People with 600 to 699 NIS contributions will receive a one-off payment of $500,000.
Persons with contribution from 700 to 749 NIS contributions, 700 to 749 NIS contributions, they will have a one-off payment of $650,000 Ghana.
President Ali said that this money would be placed in the hands of 25,000 citizens. He said that the database already exists. The payout should begin on Friday.
You heard it there, folks. You heard it there. But I hope we don't try to solve one problem and create the next problem. I'm so happy for some of those folks that are getting relief. But you know, the larger scope, the larger spans of time, frame of things, that's not no kind of money. If you're 55 now, even 60, you got a good 30 years ahead of you You can live 30 years, 20 years, 20 years on $650,000. They send you on the streets again. They send you on North Road. So there is a systemic problem. How is it that we got 20,000 plus people who have not met the eligibility for NIS? And I would love a disaggregation of that, because I want to see how many persons in that 20, 25,000 who the NIS cannot find records for. Because I know that's a big, big problem. You've had 2 or 3 jobs in your lifetime. You worked for Sambach Parker. You worked for somebody else, and then you gone there now, and you only got 300 contributions. If so much you could find. I mean, those are things you got to go somewhere for somebody. But are we fixing the problem? That is the question I have. Abira, Leslin, Maxine, and Morna, are we fixing the problem? Or are we just putting a band-aid on it, hoping? And then your generation and my generation, we got to go and fight this battle with a one-off. Are we fixing the systemic problems of NS? How could you got 25,000 people who haven't met the requirement for NIS, but they are at retirement age? And some people way past it, because for some people, this has been the life struggle following retirement. Go over, come back, get. And even if you got all your pay slips and so on, you've been that meticulous, there's no guarantee. So I hope we're fixing some problems. We're just kicking the can down the road. And there's something with this installed regime. They don't fix problems, No, you remember they're so bright. Some things for them, it's a no-brainer. Some things for them, Anthony Jarvis, Yvette Madu, no-brainers. Everett Sherwin, Deborah Clark. No-brainers. Now, they put up some speed cameras. You would have thought some education would have gone into it. As an example, they put up some speed cameras. You would think some education would have gone into it. All of us not starting the same place educationally, And big as I am, I went to Eugene. Sometimes some things just beat me. Call me a script or a scripts or whatever. Sometimes some things just beat me. So we are not starting at the same place. You see that big high bridge there? You can see they just cut ribbon open. Just like News Highway. Not a pedestrian crossing. Not a traffic light. Not an overhead walkway. Nothing. Ribbon cut. Road open. And we have seen carnage upon carnage upon carnage. And one of them we're going to talk about tonight. But I did say to you, coming from the NIS story, are we studying that? Do we have some people that understands this kind of a state set up that can help us? Folks, if we inherit some problems in our generation, Jagdeo generation, infantile generation, and we don't solve them, we wicked. If we kick them down the road to the next generation, Gloria Fraser, Frank Rice, Marlin, Mandy, and we don't solve them, we wicked. Stink and we dirty. We got to solve some problems. I see my brother from Keiko, is it Keto? They play style with K. He said he was going through some village files. Audrey, you hear me, Alicia? And he said some things. He is talking about today's issues in the village are things that his village elders were writing about since the 1960s. And we can't solve them yet. Isn't that an indictment? Since the 80s, they're writing about these problems they want to fix. And he makes the point, he's got to contend with that. We wicked. We got to fix NIS, not just kick it down the road. Fix the problem. So that 25,000 more people don't have to come and get a one-off. As against getting what is due to them because of the years of service to their country, we got to fix it. So they put these speed meters, speedometers, what have you. Measure how fast you're going. You go past the speed limit, you're getting a ticket automatically now. When Jagdeo had his press conference today and answering some of these questions, it dawned upon a lot of us, these people don't know top from bottom. They're confused top to bottom. Confused. How can you put in speed limits of which if persons exceed them, they get a ticket, and then you can come back now to say, oh, some of the speed limits are too slow. They are too slow. People are going to try to go fast because you might have an open stretch of road, right? It's not in any, what do you call it, housing area or so, an open stretch of road, and you could clock 80 and you're not putting anybody in danger, right? Why would you gotta go at 50 and get to the end of your destination 5 hours later? So now dawning on them that some of these speed intervals are too slow. So the man said, you gotta get a specialist now for come. In that madness? In that madness? In that madness? Now you gotta get a specialist. You open a road, you don't got a pedestrian crossing, you don't got a speed light, you don't got a traffic light, and you don't want people, it's a concussion road. And then you embarrass us on the international stage. There's a special kind of wickedness. It's a special, very special kind of wickedness. So, yes, the idea is a good one. Hopefully it helps to curb the carnage we see on our roads and waterways. These automatic speed meters, whatever they call them. But we will study the thing first. What was the rationale behind them? What is the issue we're trying to fix? Because we would think we're in the same place, but clearly we're not. Listen to some what the fella said. The corner shop show fella, like man Jagdeo. Listen what he said about this issue this afternoon.
I think if you're going to put in place the cameras, then you have to, some of the speed limits from what I've seen are unusually low. So you have to, the specialists have to look at this, not the politicians. We have to get specialists and let them advise us. So you don't want to err in any manner, right? You don't want to go overboard in any direction. So speed limits that are safe, but also that are not, don't become so cumbersome that everyone will get charged because they're so unusually low that on a highway.
So let's go now, after we've already implemented them, to get the specialists. Let's go now. You see, it was the politician who wanted to make an impression that we got our money now and we're spending and we're buying for everything. But after we implement it, Yvette and Yonette and Sheena, then is when we go and get the specialists to tell me how to use it. Then is when we get the specialists to tell us how we must use it. After we implement it, and we send in tickets to people. And the vice president is admitting that some of the areas where persons will be ticketed for is unnecessarily slow. Unnecessarily slow. You all see how upside down this country is? You think you have an appreciation for that? So it's the politician that make anything problematic. It is the politicians. So today we had a blackout, a long spell. A long spell. We bought some batteries 2 years ago. We've been, trying to get you guys on board. We gotta come off the grid. This is what I fear, We gotta come off the grid. The batteries that we bought, they outlived the lifespan. 3 years ago we bought them. They got blackout now. They hold power for about 5 minutes, if so long. Giving you just enough time to shut down, and then they're off. It used to give us about 4 to 5 minutes, and then the lifespan. We gotta get some proper batteries, or solar panel, and so on, and the equipment, and come off the grid. So whether GPL know they do it, or they're gonna bring specialists, 2 power ship or an extra one, we here live and direct to bring it all to you. And that's what happened to us this morning. But we thought it was our own small location where we are. But when we got out there, we realized it was citywide. And then I saw Mrs. Z's from way up in Region 5 saying they got blackout too, and some other places. Some other places. 2 power ships later. And billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. And the vice president can tell me, oh, last week some car hit a pole. Oh, it's some battery nonsense, foolishness. Jagdeo could lie, just makes it up on the spot and goes along. Make it up and go. Listen to somebody said is the reason why you had a power outage for hours today in the fastest growing economy on earth. When I fix my phone today, get a quotation for another one, the people got blackout. How you can do business in the country? Huh? Half the day got blackout. Who compensates you back for that loss of business? You have a special cash grant. Lyman Jagdeo.
I was upset with them because they have power in their system, so let me deal with the blackout too. So I called before I came into this press conference, and they told me that they had a problem at the Kingston substation and some issue with the battery there. So it was a specific problem. It has nothing to do with the availability of power, because we have enough power generating in the system, but they developed a problem at Kingston today. But this is part of, as I said to you before, until we have a modern grid with redundancies, well, we're building out now, we're not going to be able to stop these intermittent blackouts. And that's what we are focused on heavily, on modernizing the grid. I don't want to go down that route now, but like last week you saw just another element. It's nearly $500 million worth of projects to transmit power to a different part of the country. And then also a big set, maybe nearly $200 million being awarded. Like last week, their car crashed into the transmission pole, then the system goes down because the car crashed into the pole. Look how many of that we've had. So that is the one. I called before I came into the press conference, so I was upset with them because I thought that we're going back to the past.
It's a problem?
Yes. Kingston. They told me it's a problem they developed at Kingston with that substation, something to do with the battery. But you can get more about it later.
Oh, they're not answering. They're not answering any questions.
They don't.
No.
Instant feedback from Dennis Chabral from them Raw Waves. Or you can call them. They're answering. Fastest growing economy on earth. I wonder how Jagdeo know everything. But Aubrey Norton, Nigel Hughes, Asruddin Mohammed, Nazar Mohammed, but GPL, things that should concern him. I'm not too certain. It's lying, the man lying there, you know. I'm not too certain. You could ask them, but you could spend 45 minutes on Asruddin Mohammed. But what is said? Where are you getting your pay from? Where are you getting your perks from? Where are you getting your fringe benefits from? I'm not too. You see why this guy is gone 4 years. Brothers and sisters, this installed regime would not have accepted this kind of incompetence from us. And they can spend 500 million or 500 billion. They will always end up at the same point because they're too thief in. It's 2 million to the project and all the rest goes to them. They're too scampish and they're too damn liard-ness-ish. Half the day gone to blackout. Who gives you back your productivity? But nothing is working around you. Who gives you back that? We gotta get a special cash grant. We gotta get a special cash grant for that. Or is that blackout to deliberate so some things could pass? Is it? I wonder. Is it deliberate? Let me run through a couple things so I can bring you to where I want you to be. Just the other day, we showed you guys a horrific accident on the Heroes Highway, Concussion Road. Just in case you don't know where Heroes Highway is, Concussion Road might ring a better bell for you. Might ring a better bell. Gentleman who was involved in this accident totally right off this X-Trail. He said he was hit from behind. He was going slow as there were some road repairs being executed, according to report, and he was hit from behind, lost control of the vehicle, slammed into this utility pole, and lost his life. Lost his life. As easy as that, folks. As easy as that. Lost his life. And he himself was a contractor going about his business. That's why I say to you folks, that's why I say to you, you got to be in the wrong, you know. You don't have to be in the wrong. Somebody could come and rob you. Somebody could come and rob you. So our thoughts and prayers with Mr. Newton Bob Fraser, 54 years old when he transitioned life a few days ago on the Concussion Road. Our thoughts and prayers with him. And I want to get to some other things very quickly, folks, as the time presses on. You know, our young people, we've seen a lot of them caught with all manner of things. Black ants, among 3, wanted for murdering all boys tongue. Black ants. I kept wondering as I saw this name. I wanted to call his friend Cop Cop. Himself and 2 others. Young men who have decided to take a certain course in life. But I know, folks, we always say here, you can't do the time, don't do the crime. It's simple. You can't do the time, don't do the crime, and don't cry for me, Argentina. Don't do it. So Black Ants and 2 of his compadres, this is Damien Bob, also known as Black Ants. And again, it's the next one, Ryan Goodluck. He's perhaps known as Cop Cop. I don't know. I never like false names. Right? Never like false names. Ryan Goodluck. And then you got Therese Mullen. Wanted for murder. Young men, 22 years old, 31 years old. Wanted for murder. Father have his mercies. Father have his mercies. You can't do the time, we say. Don't do the damn crime. Don't do it. Don't do it. This is state of this country. Them boys making the billions and the millions, and then our young people falling by the wayside. Share the damn life, folks. Smash that emoji button for us. Smash it. Smash it. I feel the outbuy getting too big for your boots. You remember just last week, he running down Barbados? He's an old cab horse. He needs to go to pasture. Unforced errors he keeps making. Last week was Barbados, ain't nothing fancy with them. Well, he quietly walked back on that this week. He said Barbados is none to write home about. Every agent's wailing to he. Slap the chest, drop kick, close line. Today, gently. He seriously wasn't thinking to that. It's not.
The trolls that they've hired. So my friends from Barbados called me and said, "Did you criticize Barbados?" Now, actually, it's a funny story. Barbados is like home. It's like going to Linden. Now, I know Barbados well. I've had close personal relation, like a great relationship with the people of Barbados, but more so with the leaders. The same Owen Otter who headed the Commonwealth team. Mia Motley is a fantastic person. So Barbados is a beautiful country. But I wasn't criticizing Barbados. The point I was making is you have to go to Barbados and basically palaver, and if there's a word like that, about that. Barbados is like home. It's like traveling to Linden. You don't need a visa. That's the point I was making. So they quickly made it about Barbados because they wanted to distract from what I was really saying. And that's why I said, go to Manhattan then and take a picture on on the beach, somewhere else.
Why didn't he just say that last week? We big, but we got sense. Why didn't he just say that last week? Why didn't Scripps just say that last week? But he said what he meant, and he meant what he said. But it beaten. The public ridicule has been so much. He doesn't even have the dignity of the office to offer a formal apology. It's a funny story. It's not funny to the Barbadians. And hell, it's not funny to us either. It's not funny. But to get to one man, he might we gotta walk on ridicule, tarnish. He doesn't mind. He ain't mind. Today on tariffs. Oh, this big thing the opposition has said, we ought to retaliate. Retaliatory tariffs are stupid. Well, tell that to Great Britain. Tell that to China. Tell that to the European Union. Who but for that pause that Trump put on his reciprocal tariffs stalled their retaliatory tariffs? She's kind of stupid. Unforced errors. This is a cab horse we gotta put out to pasture. This man gonna embarrass us on the world stage. He wants to abuse the opposition, but he's not understanding that his words got wider implication. Same thing last week with Barbados. His words got wider implication. Retaliatory tariffs are stupid. That's what the fella said. They are stupid. Stupid idea. China, I hope you are listening to this fella. Great Britain, I hope you are listening to this fella. Right? And somebody said the other he outlive useful. That's something of the sort. Well, we're proving it. I hope the people from the European Union and by and large the ABC EU countries, I hope they're listening. Because what he's saying about the opposition, saying the same thing you guys are saying, I guess by extension, you're stupid too. Right? Everybody else stupid. Them is the only bright people. And NS can go bankrupt any day thanks to them. They bright 2 power ships and we still getting blackout for hours upon hours upon hours. What's a battery? Well, it's too Pentach, it's too AAA. What is it? Brother Bright, too bright, put his foot in the mouth last week. He gotta come and walk back now. Now it's retaliatory, tariffs stupid. If we don't take this press conference from this, because I don't think it can get worse. If you frighten, you stumble. I do not think it can get worse. I don't think so. I do not think so. But maybe it can. Maybe it can. Every week, I see the feed critics some questions. Every week. It is unethical. It is unprofessional. But I don't bother them. Because they are the what is the term, of moral rectitude. I'm missing the word, y'all help me. The epitome, that's not the word I want, but let it suffice. Of moral rectitude, the paragon, that is the word I was looking for. I hear him, Professor, saying in my head, elevate your language, Professor Bishop. Paragon of moral rectitude. You see, the paragons of it, the two bright. The bright end is stupid now, they gone to the other end of the spectrum. Retaliatory tariffs are stupid. And that's what he said. No. I said, Wordness, in a press conference, you are asking questions about a man in which you and him are involved in litigation. You cannot ask objective questions. The man just ran you in a $52 million lawsuit that you're claiming you're going to appeal. Even though it's not questions based on that, because you and him are engaged in litigation. One could say there might be an inherent bias in the questions that you're going to ask because you're pulling for he. And what Jagdeo ought to do is to let somebody ask the questions about the Mohammeds. And you stay clear of that. He asked him Wordness the most questions. Right? When the FBI doing something, when the CIA doing something, when they sending you all back this information but the sanctions, and to see a man that purports to have or to be the paragon of moral rectitude, take the question. Now, this paragon today, certain things you shouldn't make light of. You know, you should not. Especially when you're sitting in the office of a vice president of an oil producing republic. You don't make light of it. So in this press conference, again, he's being facetious, foot and mouth disease. Foot and mouth disease. And he's talking, oh, if I was a GRA, I would do X, I would do. If I was a GRA, and here's the man procuring GRA to misrepresent themselves. If it was GRA, I would have tell him I come in next week and let him hiring people for come and protest. I would have tell him every day I come in tomorrow. Here is a man procuring GRA to go against the High Court, who has put an injunction on his actions against the Mohammeds. A whole vice president a whole vice president. See what you want about the Mohammeds. The court has said that GRA should not touch the vehicles. And here is this man making like, if I was GRA, I will tell him coming tomorrow. What? Foot and mouth disease. Foot and mouth disease. That is what he has. Foot and mouth disease.
They just underdeclare taxes on the vehicle and making it look like it's they're victims now when the GRA is coming after them. These are all issues that will continue to engage. And is it because the PPP is afraid of the Mohammeds? And he is no electoral challenge to us. What is he going to? He hasn't offered anything except trying to share out a bit of the money that he owes in taxes, and just misleading poor people. And by the way, GRA should not really GRA. If I were GRA, I'd say I'm coming in the morning and don't go, and let him mobilize all the time and hire the people and give them some employment that he hired in his yard. And then I'll say I'm going the next day and don't go too. And then let the people get more employment here. Whole week I would have been giving employment opportunities to people. It's funny.
Is that an instruction to GRA? Is it? Is that an instruction to GRA? I can see a man like this, Stacy, Jilly G, Rastaman, Renison, Van, Shireen. I can see a man like this saying, if I was Guyana Daily News, I would tell them to put up a notice that Mohammed giving cash grants in the morning. If I was Guyana Daily News. It's funny. It's funny. Just like how running off your mouth at Barbados was funny to you. I can see that. Right? If it was Guyana Daily News, I put up an ad saying that the Mohammed's giving out cash grant and sell the poor people line up. The thing they want to give out money. If I was Guyana Daily News, I would have put an ad saying that they sharing out cash grants. Yeah. It's funny. It's funny. But funny to who? Level of wickedness should never see government. Should never see government in this country. Never, never, never. Never. This man said in this press conference today, they just met with some influencers. And then on the next side, the man abusing down people who he perceive giving good coverage to the Mohammeds. I mean, like, this man got nothing to do. All the things they said they're doing in this country and the whole press conference with other people, None about their policies and programs. You see? He spent 2 minutes, if so long, on GPL with his wars. But you see, Mohammed, half hour. On a man he's not afraid of, who is no electoral threat to them. Well, imagine if he was, because the World Press Conference is Mohammed's. This is a wickedness to be calling all people you perceive working for somebody. This can't be the role of a whole vice president. It just can't.
The trolls that they've hired and everyone else and some mainstream media like News Source and all of them, they don't address that one issue. The single issue that led to the sanction by the United States against the Mohammed. We are covering up all of their illegal acts. This came from the same Gordon Mosley and the Travis Chase and all of the others, the extremists who reside in New York, as well as from mainstream PNC and AFC. It's the same Odessa Primus, who is, I gather, related to Simona Brooms, and a whole range of other groups. Gordon Mosley now, Travis Chase. Look at the Travis Chase's story. PPP official caught in New York, questioned in New York. So we were wondering which PPP official got questioned recently. It's Roshan Khan, even Rickford Burke, who was a couple months ago saying they had, you remember the cabotage issue? Saying we're in bed with them, he now has a favorable view of them. The entire opposition media that historically criticized the PP, they're there supportive of them.
Yeah. A lot of that sounds slanderous and libelous to me. A lot of it, you know. Slanderous and libel. You know, that situation in Linden, people are venting their frustrations. But as regards the protests, things seem to be quieting down. You know, things in Linden. The man lighted there so barefaced on the opposition, so barefaced that it was the opposition who first said it was the PPP that killed this young man, Ronaldo Peters. It was the PPP, live from the pits of Sodom and Gomorrah. Lie like when Jagdeo could lie. They felt treacherous. Lie like when harsh trotting. Lie for so. Lie.
First of all, at the beginning, they started off by saying, we sent the police to kill the gentleman. That's how they started. That's how extreme they get. And that the PPP, it was directed by the PPP.
Who said that? Who said that? Where was it said? Look around like elephant. Where was it said? Who said that? Who said it? Who said it? So the Westmore Mackenzie Bridge has reopened to vehicle traffic. Half mile, 1 mile, going up that way, the road and the debris and so on, has been clear, thankfully. But they would have been happy for more than that. They would have been happy to say, is that new thugs and hooligans? Is that new scrapes? They would have been ecstatic to say that. But I'm happy that better sense prevailed. Huge fire at Amelia's Ward last night. They said a sawmill where they throw the excess or the waste caught on fire, huge area, lit up. Then you had equipment in Linden to get there. 5 years of the PPP, fastest, biggest growing economy, high income country, and all of that. And we don't have the simple things. Simple things. Could you imagine if those were houses and not just a waste area where they dump the excess wood and so on, the shavings as we used to call it when we were younger? Fastest growing country. Of what? And then when they do bring something popping, man. We saw them take a fire tender to Kokwani. And the Kokwani people says, for plant, y'all come for sprinkle here. They carry a fire tender to Kokwani. But it's like it's a garden was. And the folks, they're not having it. The folks there just not having it. But I want to end. We really want to end tonight Big things happening in Region 1. Big things happening in Region 1. It's been Region 10. Let's skip over quickly to Region 1, folks. Over 400 pounds of cocaine was found on a beach in Region 1. On a beach. So some folks were fishing and we noticed these parcels. They didn't know what it is, what it was instinctively. They didn't know. I want to talk some things here. They did not know instinctively and immediately what it was. So from where this beach was, in a place called, well, where this beach was in Region 1, they took back these parcels according to the information we have. They took back these parcels to a place called Imbatero, which is the first, which is a border community in Region 1. After Imbatero is Venezuela. It's on the border. And apparently they found out there it was cocaine. Well, I hear the people sell some. Perhaps use some. And then the police got involved and apparently wanted to keep it hush-hush. This is the police in Region 1. Mabaruma in particular wanted to keep this cocaine fine. It was not an operation. The people found this cocaine on the beach. It was not an operation. And so if nobody didn't know it was there, then the cocaine, as they say about land in international law, perhaps was terra nullius. Inga no owner. So they take some, sell some. And we bust this story this afternoon. We heard some got as far as the sub-region, Port Kaituma. And that is why when I saw more in the crack, I remember we were told that a sky van with soldiers touched down in Port Kaituma and run in the place called the crack because they heard some of the cocaine went in there. So everybody interested in this cocaine. 400 plus pounds of cocaine. 400 plus pounds of cocaine. And a lot of the police ranks, we're being told, in Mabaruma are implicated in trying to duck it. You remember quite recently, folks, cocaine went missing? You remember that? Quite recently, cocaine went missing. Cocaine was replaced with flour. A lion? In the fastest growing economy in the world, in the high income country, cocaine went missing. Cocaine to our floor. So we are reliably informed that the folks wanted to duck it. Don't tell nobody. In March, last month, French authorities intercepted a Guyana-flagged vessel, the Solo, off the West African coast, delivering 6.3 tons of cocaine. 4 Guyanese nationals were involved last month. And then last month as well, Trinidad and Tobago, a vessel originating from Guyana, was found carrying 182 kilograms of cocaine hidden in a concealed compartment, valued at 250 million TT dollars. And it's about 30 to 1. So you do the math. 5 individuals were intercepted. 435 pounds was found. And mind you, some are already gone. Some are already sold. Right? In addition to that, you are sharing the light. In addition to that, I shouldn't tell you that now. This needs a show by itself. This needs a show by itself. over the last 2 or 3 months, 4, 5, 6 months, $30 million in salaries to policemen in Region 1. Monies that should have been payable to policemen went missing. And high officials in Region 1 are being fingered. 30 plus million that should have gone in the pockets of our hard-working policemen, not the drug police. But they were told that the money ain't dry yet. The money ain't dry yet. I told y'all, the further out from the capital you go, it's only corruption there. Dora, that's all the corruption there. We'll give you also more information about that 30 million of the police officers' monies that got missing. Share the damn life for us. Smash that emoji button. Please and thank you. We're going to leave it here for now. Narco State. PP come back. Friends, family, and favorites. PP come back. Right? What they could tell me? And they want to shake you hand? You want to shake any cocaine hand? Yeah. Any hand that got blood on it? And illegality? You want to shake the hand? Break. That's our time, folks. And that's our program. Share the damn live. Smash that emoji button, folks. And partner with us so we can keep on going. We regret, folks. We love you all. We regret we love you all. We regret we don't run on water. We regret we gotta ask you all for your help. We wish we never went in the grid. But we can suffer it to be so for a little season. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. And folks, we're going to see you guys on the next one. Don't ignore the link when it passes. It's very secure. Please and thank you. And we have our MMG as well. Have a good night. And we're going to see you guys on the next podcast. Stay safe.